Well, everybody, I think you know what time it is. It is May 12th, 2024, and this is the first installment of the Supertunia Vista window box series. Only difference is this time it is Mini Vista, which I'll get into here shortly. Pretty excited to do this again. This is actually going to be the third year in a row of doing these growth updates. Very cool to do. I enjoy seeing it myself. It's always nice to see something different every year. What is immediately different that you'll notice is two things. Number one, I am filming the first video in May 12th to be exact, instead of April, and that's because I planted these boxes up 2 weeks ago. We had a lot of rain. I couldn't really get a chance to get outside, and so 2 weeks later, here we are. So even though this is the first update in the series, these flowers were actually planted 2 weeks ago today. So another thing you're gonna notice that's different is less plants in each box. Last year it was the big ones, which are the two on the railings and the one on the window, would have 6 of them each, and it would be 3 on each side. This year I'm gonna do 2 on each side, so it's gonna be 4 each in the big ones and then 2 in the small ones. I picked 2 colors that I've never used before. The first is the Mini Vista Yellow, and the second is the Mini Vista Indigo. I like the idea of the yellow and the purple. Yellow in general, I mean last year I had Supertunia Blue Skies, but I never had anything that was the same palette as the yellows. Really excited to see how they turn out for a couple of reasons. One, they are still vistas, so they're still gonna grow better than your normal Supertunia. And 2, they are less crowded as in the past. And it's also gonna be interesting to see just in general the change, because this is gonna be the first time in 3 years now that I've actually decided to stay away from bubblegum. So let's get in up here. I just set up the drip system. I had to just, well, it's always been here. I just kind of had to recommission it. I adjusted some drippers because I'm doing less plants this year. So look at, you can kind of see from this angle, the colors are already looking really nice. The yellows are growing a little better, but I think it's because they just came from the greenhouse a little more mature than the indigos did. I ordered all of these plants from the internet this year for the first time ever. In the years past, I've done some on the internet, some in person, but this time everything came from, I think it's Michigan. And the yellows were already flowering by the time I got them. The indigos were all green. And the only way you could tell what you were looking at is because they had the little name tags on them. Another thing I'm actually doing, different from this one here and all the other ones, is on this box, I'm experimenting with a new emitter. These emitters right here are 1 gallon per hour of flow. And every other emitter in every other box is only ½ gallon per hour. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see, is it possible that they're not getting enough water? I thought last year they were a little dull, not as popping as the year before. And I'm wondering if it has something to do with the ½ gallon an hour emitters like we have over here, just not giving enough water. So we'll find out. I wanna say it's too early to tell. I mean, yeah, I could say the indigo there are looking nice, but I think it's still a little too early. So now we're gonna go down to the garage boxes here. These are the windows for the garage. They're smaller. And this time there's only going to be 2 in each box. So there's your yellow and your indigo. Yellow and indigo over there, which is barely even flowering yet, that indigo. We'll go and take a look at that. Again, from the front. Sun's going down. It's almost 6 o'clock over here. Looking nice. As you can see, the indigo just barely popping up compared to over there. I also planted them different. 2 indigo in the center versus a staggered look. So here we go over here. And again, by 5:30, these are no longer getting sunlight. This is a house that's facing west. So probably in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they won't have any more sun on them. And you can see the drip line still there. I haven't gotten around to painting it yet. And but I'll adjust that and maybe I'll paint it or not. The same color as the house. So that's what's going on right now. We've been having great weather here. Haven't had to water them twice a day yet. Still just once a day for about 30 minutes. It's early in the season. Just started fertilizing them too. So everything will go good. And a little surprise here was a project that I actually started drawing up late, I'm gonna say late 2023, and started working on it all the way from 2024 is, as you can see, I've been doing some excavation here because I'm gonna put another fertilizer injector in there for the in-ground sprinkler system for a drip line because I did this. Yeah, I went a little crazy here and I did I'm not really sure the exact name. Some people call it a container garden, an in-ground flower pot garden. I'm not sure how to, what you would call it, but I got rid of the old flower bed, which was juniper and weeds and Bermuda grass that was growing. The Bermuda grass is growing into the flower bed. And this is all Bermuda. And I said, well, why don't I just do all Supertunia? So I did it again. This is Jazzberry, Supertunia Vista Jazzberry. There's 23 pots in the ground, staggered. I'll probably do this as a second series. I don't know. I'm not sure yet because of how different it is from up there. And there's 23 pots staggered. 2 pots, I'm experimenting with 2 Supertunias, which is one right here and then one somewhere down there. So you're looking at 25 Supertunia Vista Jazzberries planted in the ground. I am still hand watering them because my drip system isn't complete yet. However, I will have 1 gallon per hour emitters and everything. So I still have everything kind of roughly laid out, the extra tube still here. And this is going to be something very exciting. This took many months of work, of just every weekend. It didn't matter if it was 30 degrees out or 80 degrees out. I had to get out here and work on a slope. I dug up all the juniper and planted it in the backyard, excavated a bunch of dirt and threw it out, put down a weed barrier, plotted out all the holes for the pots. And what's nice about this design is it's a pot inside of a pot. And so what that means is I can pick up this pot for whatever reason, and when I pick it up, there's another pot in there as a placeholder, which would be hard for me to do while holding the phone, but and they're pretty heavy. But basically I can lift this pot out of the ground, and you'd probably be able to see it better over here, but I have another pot. You see it better on the slope. I have another pot here, and for whatever reason, if I need to lift this up, I just lift this pot out, and that pot stays in the ground. So, you know, if you had a late frost in the spring and you already planted, you just pick your pots up, put it in the house. If you want to put a barrier down and you just want to leave the pots like they are over winter and just leave them with dirt because your flowers died, you could do that. And then the next year, all you got to do is pick them out of the ground, put some new soil in and a new plant in. And it's all kind of like a modular build, I guess you could say. Really cool. Excited. See how it turns out. It's going to need a lot of water and a lot of fertilizer, so that's why I'm going to put in a fertilizer injector here, because it's just far too complicated to water all of these by hand on a slope with a watering can with fertilizer. It just kind of purpose defeating. So anyway, that'll be it for this update. Excited for this year. I'm hoping it's gonna be better than ever, but we'll have to wait and see. And in the meantime, make sure to tune in next time, folks. Thank you.